personal job shadow today, and I promised the principal at, over at the Maryville Middle School that I was going to do a photo. So for signing day, he and I are going to.
It's going to be a selfie.
No, you can do it.
Take it. All right.
How about that? Slide on in here.
Perfect. There you go.
He was my job shadow today. He kept me in line, so he did a great job.
That's a good day to job shadow.
It is a good day. National Signing Day. He picked a good one. It was 2 hour. Now, show you dedication. 2 hour late start this morning at Maryville Public Schools, and Mr. Pitts called me first thing in the morning and asked if he could still come do the job shadow, and so he hopped out of bed and came over here on his own accord, nice and early. So we got after it.
That's awesome.
All right, as we were talking a little bit earlier, it looks like a very huge signing class that you have this year.
Yeah, I think we did a good job. I mean, when you graduate 20 plus seniors, you know, you have to replenish it with another good class, and we feel like we did that. I'm excited about, we got back to our roots. We had a lot of Midwest kids, a lot of kids from Missouri, a lot of kids from this side of the state. So I was really encouraged about the class and the types of athletes we were able to corral.
We were talking just a minute ago about a couple of potential factors that could have hurt you guys. The early signing period that's new that Division I had, and then with Scott Frost coming in, really trying to get a lot of walk-ons from the Nebraska area. Did either of those have an effect on you guys in recruiting? Because you've always recruited Nebraska so well.
Scott Frost made me mad. You know, he did. He kind of came in with the old Tom Osborne mentality, and we lost a couple kids to him. It's hard when you got that momentum and you grew up in the state, as you know. State of Nebraska, you know, it's everybody dreams of walking out of that tunnel at Memorial Stadium. So we lost a couple kids to that, but at the same time we signed a couple as well. You know, it's college recruiting. The newness will wear off of that. You can only take so many walk-ons per year, and because of the transition, they were able to take a little bit more. But I'm going to find him somewhere in the off season and probably try and sucker punch him or something.
One thing when we looked at this list too that we were talking about, there's going to be a lot of names on here that are familiar to a lot of high school football fans just around this region.
Yeah, absolutely. We really tried to pay attention to our backyard, and we you know, at the cornerstone of our program is small town kids, and you know, that's what I encouraged our staff to go out and look for. Find frames. Most of our kids don't play early, so find good frames, kids with fantastic work ethics, kids who were highly intrinsically motivated, and people we felt like had a lot of upside moving forward, and I think we did that.
Well, with a big list, we better jump into it, go through it. It's just an alphabetical order. There's no particular order with this, but we'll start off with a kid from Kansas City and Liberty High School, a defensive back in Joe Barnes.
Yeah, Joe is, you know, you'll talk about production. He was the 2017 Conference Player of the Year. He was all Simone, led Liberty High School in tackles all time. You know, just extremely productive. He's a smart kid, understands the game. His brother plays football here. Jackson's going to be a redshirt sophomore for us. Mom and dad are both grads. I mean, he's the epitome of what the Bearcat family is all about. You know, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Jack Richards. He's going to be, you know, he's going to come in here and I'm going to tell him he's too short and, you know, he's this and he's that, and all he's going to do is prove me wrong. And that's just the kind of kid he's been his whole life, and what I fully expect of him moving forward.
Got another signee coming in from Kansas City and a program that's had a lot of success in the short history of this school and Staley High School, tied in J.D. Bimbo.
Yeah, and you know, the thing that's exciting about him is his versatility. You know, he was first team all-conference, first team all-district, and first team all-state, all Simone. He was a guy that really kind of made their offense go. They put him in the backfield, they put him out in the slot, they put him as a tight end. I think he can do all of the above here. He's one of those kids that isn't going to get pigeonholed into a specific position. And when you talk to Coach Light and you know, their run, he talked about this kid and him being a catalyst for why they were able to do what they were able to do. He just caused so many mismatches with defensive players, and he's really dangerous with the ball in his hands. think he's just scratching the surface as a football player. He really transferred from Smithville over into Staley and bought into the culture, and we're just excited about the direction he's going. He's a basketball player too. One of the things you'll see, we're really heavy in the multi-sport kids, very heavy. Almost every kid on our list is a multi-sport kid.
Next one on the list, obviously a good athlete, part of the Iowa Shrine Bowl, but when you look at some of the other things he's done, he's also great in the classroom as a 4.0 honor roll, but linebacker from Glenwood High School in Glenwood, Iowa, Andrew Bloom.
You know, and this is one of those kids that helped change the culture of Glenwood, Iowa. I mean, they struggled a little bit over the years, and his class is really kind of, the catalyst to put them on the map. He's a multi-sport athlete, plays basketball, averages 14 points and 8 rebounds a game on their basketball team. Really unselfish. Played quarterback predominantly as a senior. But we had enough tape and saw him in camp as a linebacker that we really liked him. He's physical, he can run, really smart kid. Have a lot of legacies in this class. Mom Chris went to school here, so he's again, small town Iowa, linebacker. That's really resonated well for us, and we're expecting big things. He's got a great frame. He's going to be a big kid, and he's got that it factor that you look for, that grit and toughness, and just so motivated to be the best. And so he's going to be a fun one to coach.
Let's go back down to the Kansas City area on the Kansas side now. A wide receiver coming out of Blue Valley High School, Blake Brown.
Yeah, he's comes from a great program. He's a winner. The thing I liked about him when I got to meet him is how strong he was. He's physical. He doesn't look like a receiver. He's not one of those pretty boy wide receivers. I mean, he's put together. He's a gym rat. You watch him on tape. He gets after people, whether it's blocking, running routes, has the ability to separate. I'm really excited about this kid. I think he's a sleeper in our class and somebody that can really do some great things here at Northwest Missouri State.
Look, one of the nearby, we're talking about the region, recruiting the region, and Rockport High School, and head coach Ross Hastert that's done a tremendous job as we'd expect, but tight end Ryan Dewhurst.
Okay, and again, we list a lot of these guys as tight ends, and we're going to find a home for them. And where Ryan's going to fit, I'm not quite sure, but I know he's a heck of an athlete. He was their MVP. He was first team All-State as a defensive end, second team All-State as an offensive player. He's just a great athlete. He does some good things, and we really he jumped out on tape. And I guess as an 8-man player, a small school player, you got to be able to do that. But he's explosive, multi-sport athlete, excellent student. He's going to grow. I see an H-back. I see an off-the-ball tight end more than an on-the-ball tight end type of kid. But don't sleep on this kid playing a little bit in the backfield as a B-back as well, because I think that really fits his skill set.
When you look at who's up next here, we're going to Nebraska, and there you talked about a little bit earlier, Carlton, Nebraska native, and Carson Dixon, he's listed as a defensive lineman.
Boy, now that's out there. 8-man school, small school again. Brother plays defensive line at Wyoming. Multiple sport athlete, plays basketball and track. He's got a great frame. He came here on a visit, and we offered him after I got a chance to meet him. He'll fit our room really well. He's got potential to get big like most of our defensive linemen do. He's going to get in the weight room, get after it, and he's just a good all-around athlete. I liked his family. He's a good fit for us and a good fit for our room.
Another one a little outside of the region, you look into Springdale, Arkansas, Tevin Eckwood, a defensive back from Harbor High School.
This is a kid that jumped off of us on tape. We sometimes have to look elsewhere for defensive secondary positions. And this kid, when we got film on him out of Arkansas, we sent Coach Clayton and Coach Sharp down to visit with. He was a 2-time All-State defensive back. He's a dual sport kid. He's a 48.5 in the 400 meters, so he can go. He's gonna run track here at Northwest Missouri State. Once he fills out, he's got the skill set to play early. He gets up and challenges on the line of scrimmage. He does what we do, and that's one of the difficult things in finding corners. For us, is we've got to find that press kid, that kid that can get up and get in your face, because not everybody's comfortable doing that. And this kid fits that bill. He's got a little bit of swagger to him, a little bit of an edge, which I like, because those guys have to have that in order to be successful out there. And so I really like him.
Looking at the offensive line, you bring in a kid with a lot of size, a 6'5", 270-pounder out of Albia, Iowa, and also Ellsworth Community College in Hunter Gertz.
You know, and Hunter's been a kid that's just fit in from the moment he came to campus. We were really excited to get him at semester. He's on campus with us right now, working out in the weight room. He's fit in really well with the offensive line. Was a 2-year starter up at Ellsworth. He's a teammate of Blake Bear from Albia, Iowa. And he's just one of those guys that we want to get into the mix right away for playing offensive line and maybe fitting into that right tackle slot that was vacated by Ryan Huff.
Another offensive lineman coming from a school that Northwest has had some success with athletes more than even just football, but Dowling Catholic High School out of Des Moines, Mitch Goff.
You know, I was so tickled to get this kid committed to Northwest Missouri State. We've got a Dowling kid. It's been a long run, and they have Coach Wilson has developed such a phenomenal culture there. You know, this kid has played in 3 straight state championships and won it. He's a multi-sport athlete. He's a pitcher on the baseball team. Pitched in the state championship game last year. This kid is physical. He'll hit you in the mouth. What I like most about this kid, and you know how I feel about the defensive line, he brings that mentality to the offensive line. He likes to get down, he likes to get grimy, and he'll get after you. He runs the power really well. He pulls about every other snap on his highlight film, and the kid just oozes toughness. And so this is another kid, you know, great culture, great program. He's going to fit what we do and what we're all about. So I'm excited.
When we look at the next one on our list out of Chillicothe, of course, folks who watch and follow Building Empire Conference football and know about Walker Graves, a 6'3", 304-pounder, defensive lineman out of Chillicothe.
You know, and so first of all, from this point forward, he needs to be referred to as Walker Texas Ranger, because that's my nickname for him. I have nicknames for most of my defensive linemen. You know, you just start going down his bio. 4-year starter on the football team, 4 years all-conference, 3 years all-district, 3 years all-state. Basketball, 4-year starter. State qualifier in track, 3 years. Medal last year, 3rd in the shot. He's an all-around athlete. What jumped at my attention when I watched this kid, we evaluated this kid as a junior offensive lineman and didn't have him graded out all that highly. I popped in tape of his senior year, and I don't even remember who the heck they were playing, but he made a play. He was at the line of scrimmage and a back busted out to the outside, and this kid ran him down, and I was like, holy cow, I've got to watch some film. And the next thing you started to see was some of that explosiveness and pop. And at 304 pounds, this is a kid that I don't have to manufacture into getting bigger. He's going to have to get stronger, but he's ready-made. He could potentially plug and play a little earlier, which is somewhat not typical of our defensive linemen. Usually we're smaller and have to grow and evolve. This kid has got, I'm excited about what he can bring to the table moving forward. He's a hard worker. He's great in everything that he does, has a good family, so should be a lot of fun.
You know, there's a lot of good football players up in Omaha, and this next kid, an All-Metro Coaches Player of the Year out of Millard West, but Giovanni, I hope I say this right, is it Giovanni Guido?
You've got it.
All right.
You got the Italian. We got another Kirk Peterson kid, and traditionally we've had a lot of those here at Northwest. You know, kids like Longacre and Yost and Ryan Meyer, Coleman Adema Schulte. Over the years, we've had a lot of Millard West kids. This kid is a winner. I like his, he played quarterback in high school. We see him as an athlete. Don't know where we're going to put him yet, but he just wins at everything he does. He's got a confidence. He's from a big family of athletes. Grandpa was a pro wrestler, so you guys can do a little research on that.
Nice.
He's a multi-sport kid. He plays point guard on their basketball team. You come from Millard West and you play for Coach Peterson, and you've come from a good program. I say the word culture a lot. A good culture. He does things the right way up there, and this kid will fit very well into what we do.
We talked about players coming from a good program. Another one from a good small high school program in the state of Missouri, out of Hamilton, Missouri, and Penny High School. Torrey Harper, wide receiver.
You want to see a bio sheet, guys? Take a look at this. This is his football accolades right here. There you go. These are his football accolades. Okay, if you want to turn to page 2, here's his basketball accolades.
Man.
Okay, kind of gives you an idea of what this kid has been able to do at Penny High School. What a neat family. unselfish kid that played for Coach Obert, former Bearcat, had a chance to break Dorial Green Beckham's high school records, all of them, going into his senior year, and played quarterback because that's where he needed to play for them to be successful. This kid's an amazing athlete. I went and watched him play basketball against Hogan Prep. It was kind of seemed like 1-on-5 at times, but he's still scored a lot of points. He's tough. He's got great hands, great ball skills. You saw that catch he made his junior year in the state championship that was on all the highlight reels. He could play a lot of things on both sides of the ball on our football team. And that's probably the highest compliment I could pay to a kid. I think he's got a ton of upside. He's finally going to specialize playing college ball. All of a sudden he's not the three-sport athlete anymore. He's going to focus on football, and I'm excited about what this kid can do.
You guys have had some success with defensive backs out of Florida in recent years, and another one coming from St. Augustine, Florida, 6'1", 165-pounder, Linnell Harris.
Linnell is a great kid. Comes St. Augustine High School, finished this last year 12-1. Got beat in the semifinals, and anybody that knows high school football in Florida, this is 7A football, got beat against Armwood. Armwood is a perennial top 10 power in the nation. This is a great program. Coach Braddock does a fantastic job down there. I went and visited this kid in the spring personally. I toured around the facility. I got to talk to a lot of people that were involved, and he's going to fit our mold. He's very athletic. He can play press coverage. He high points the ball very well. He's a triple jumper. I think he placed in the region in the triple jump. He was their top jacket award winner, meaning he wore the jersey number 1, which they bestow on their team MVP for the season, and this kid was that. He always covered I don't know if I could pay much better of a compliment that his high school coach said, regardless of the week, he always covered the best receiver we played against on a team that went 12-1 in 7A football in Florida. And so academically he was a fit. He's a strong student, comes from a good home, and so we're excited about what he can do for us.
Nary, that it seems like you're getting more success from is Illinois. You've got the next one coming in, a tight end, Cole Hembrough, out of Glenwood High School in Chatham, Illinois, a 6'3", 220-pounder.
Yeah, all-state kid. Started 2 years at quarterback. Again, what we looked to do offensively this last year was get athletic. We needed more playmakers, regardless of the positions. And so what we wanted to do is when we sat down and we watched film, we were trying to find guys that we felt like fit that bill. This kid is a great athlete. Played quarterback as a sophomore and junior, moved to tight end as a senior. I'm not so certain he couldn't go out and split out and play some receiver for us. He's that good of an athlete. Dad played offensive line at Missouri for Andy Reid when he was the offensive line coach there. Uncle played tight end at the University of Miami, so he's got good bloodlines. Mom has 2 uncles that played in the NBA in basketball, so he comes from an athletic family. I just see him, I'm not going to pigeonhole him. I think that he can play tight end. He's an all-state kid, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him split out. We're going to try and do some more things in terms of trying